So I'm gonna go over a few more from your quiz today. They're randomly generated. I can't pick. That's one of the disadvantages of Khan. So I really can't go over all the ones, but these are the ones that were most commonly missed on the second try. Hang in there, get the ones you know how to get, write these equations. All you've got left in Khan as far as geometry standpoint is a test on Monday that you can take as many times as you want, and I'm going to give you some bonus opportunities on that. But from your quiz today, this question was missed quite a bit. It's got x squared, and notice there's no more x terms. So when you write this equation of a circle, you're going to just have x squared plus something y gets over. So the center is going to be at 0 for the x value. And I'm going to change colors, and let's look at the y values. You've got y squared plus 6y. Well, yesterday's lesson, you're going to have to do something called completing the square to fix this. But it basically works out to this. It's going to be y plus, keep that same sign, divide this by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3 squared. Now, if that's the equation, then the center will be at -3, the y value will. But the way this continues to work so you can get the correct radius, well, if you divide this by 2, and then you square that answer, so 6 divided by 2 is 3, 3 squared is 9. That makes this a perfect square rule of factor to this. But if you add 9 on the left, you must add 9 on the right, which will give you 81. So here's my equation. My center is 0, -3, and the radius would be the square root of 81, which is 9. So there's one more completing the square problem work through. I think the next one that was missed quite a bit also works this way. This time you've got to graph it, but the whole key to graphing is to get the center and the radius. So I'm going to group my x terms. I've got x squared and I've got 8x. So x squared plus 8x plus, what am I going to add to make this factor into a perfect square? Well, you divide this term by 2, which would be 4. 4 squared is 16. So my center is going to be located at -4. So I could go on and move this over to -4. It won't let me move this in right here, but there's where your center will be. I'm going to do the exact same thing for my y values. I've got y squared minus 2y. But I'm going to add something to make this a perfect square. Notice if that's minus, this will be minus squared. I just divide this by 2. I get a 1 there. 1 squared is 1. So this is the perfect square that I made it into. It factors to this. If this is the equation, my center would be at a +1. So now that we've got our center, we can just slide this circle to -4, 1. Now I've got to work on my radius a little bit. Notice in the problem it had a -19. So if I get that to focus. So when I move it to the other side, I would basically have 19. Then I added 16. And then I added 1 more. So that adds up to 36. And if this whole equation, this piece plus this piece equals 36, then my radius would be the square root of that, which is 6. So I would slide my center to -4, 1, and then I would count out 6 for my radius. Write the equation of the circle graph below. Key thing I hope you realize on all these, you need a center, you need a radius. If you get a center and a radius, you can write the equation of a circle. Looking at my picture, it looks like my center is at -2, -2. Now be careful counting on this, because notice each block is a quarter, 1/4. So 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4 fours, negative direction. So I go 1, 2, 3 blocks. Well, my radius is then 3/4, because each one is a quarter. See, -2 to -1.5 is a half, and then another quarter, so 3/4. Now, once I got this material, really easy to write the equation. I basically changed the signs. So it's going to be x plus 2 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals, now if I square 3 over 4, so basically I'm going to have 3 over 4 squared. What that equals, you can type in your calculator and get a decimal, but it's really easy to just square the two pieces. 3 squared is 9 over 16. So your answer would be this. To get the y on your phone, if you're using the app, you just hold down the X and it will change to a y option. And I'll work through one more of these. Another, it gives you the center, it gives you the radius. We've just got to convert it. Remember, if it's minus, the equation is x minus, so minus and minus would make this a plus 0.2 squared plus y minus 5.8 squared equals 4 squared is 16, 9 squared is 81. So all that in one line, and I know it's aggravating to type in on these. We're almost there. Just hang in there and work these out. Let me know if I can do anything else to help you out, and we'll talk next week on that final grade on Monday and wrapping everything up for the whole year and crossing the tape. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.